Hey everyone, what is going on? It is Brian. Welcome back. Today I have a video that's not a review video at all. It's actually a little bit more introspective. It's a video that kind of in light of Father's Day, I wanted to put out in memory of my father. So anyone who kind of knows what I've been going through, family has been going through over the last couple of months with my dad's decline in health and then ultimately losing his life to cancer. You know that, it's been a little difficult kind of navigating all that. It's got me away from the channel a little bit, but I'm back here. And I remember going through Dad's bourbon shelf for a couple of reasons. I'll name the second one a little later on. But as I was kind of combing through, and I wanted to kind of see if there was anything kind of left on his shelf that had importance to me. And then some of the bottles that I had in my collection that had some memory that attached to me and Dad. And maybe this is a video that resonates with somebody here on the channel. Maybe there's somebody else who's gone through something similar, or you have some bottles that have some meaningful stories, or they just have something that you have an attachment to. This is a video for you. This is a video that kind of ties in, that kind of breaks down some of that stuff for me. Maybe if it's something you haven't been able to articulate, or maybe you're going through something rough and you haven't really been able to talk through some of that with you, maybe you'll find comfort in a video like this. And maybe it'll be helpful. If you all have bottles like this as we go through, leave me some comments down below. I'd love to hear what kind of bottles you all have that you have this kind of sentimental attachment to, something that really has meaning to you in your collection. And again, if someone else is going through something similar and you haven't really had someone else talk to, feel free to shoot me a line on Instagram at @abandonedbourbon, shoot me an email or leave some comments down below. I'd love to continue to process in any way that I have been able to that might be able to be helpful. We'll go ahead and start diving into some of these bottles. The first of which is a 6-year bourbon from Willit Distillery. This is barrel number 2064, and it's a 21C private selection. So I was fortunate enough to be able to go on a couple of Willit picks kind of early on in my bourbon picking career, if you will say. But some of the first barrel picks I was able to go on were at Willit, and I was able to join on this pick with 21C. And they picked a couple of barrels that day. Bourbon, a really nice rye, and they had a dinner event when the bottles were ready to release at Proof on Main, which is the restaurant in 21C here in Louisville, Kentucky. And it's an event that I invited Dad to. It was a nice dinner, had some cocktail pairings, had some whiskey tastings, specifically of the products that we were able to buy. And it was just a time, Dad hadn't gone on a barrel pick before. And so it was something that, since he had his own whiskey journey, I was getting into whiskey as well, and we didn't really have a lot of overlap. We didn't really drink together all that much. We didn't really have a lot of other things in common. He started to play guitar and get into music, but aside from that, we didn't really have a lot of things in common, and music and bourbon were some of the things that we did. And it was a cool moment to share with him and him be able to try a barrel that I was able to pick, and then also we were able to pick up bottles of this. So this is a bottle that I have in my collection that's really special to me. For that reason, I'll put a picture up here if I haven't already, where you're able to see us kind of sitting at that dinner and have a nice, memory of him out of the house and alive and healthy doing an event like that. Similarly, we did a lot of camping events together. So here before COVID, Liquor Barn specifically would do some liquor releases, and they'd send out email about it. They'd show what bottles are available, first come, first serve. So what's the best way to have the pick of whatever you want, not knowing how many bottles you're gonna have? Well, you got to get there early. You got to camp out. So there's a lot of early mornings that we had there. I had one night that Dad camped overnight with me in front of Liquor Barn, and that was for the first release of Weller CYPB. I didn't have that bottle to share with this, but that was one that we camped overnight. We'll have some pictures here from the camp out overnight, and then another picture you can see him just kind of chatting on his phone. He would just sit there and do Sudoku and chat on his phone. And one of the releases that we went to was for Elmer Thiele and Rock Hill Farm. So this is one that Dad got and put in his collection. He wasn't a big allocated chaser. He wasn't a big, big bottle guy. He had a lot of shelfer products on his shelf, but he was very proud of his shelf. And he did still go through magazines, go through books and stuff. And there were bottles he wanted to have on his collection. The Elmer Thiele was one of those. And it's a bottle that I pulled off the shelf afterwards to keep as a keepsake, to remember him by and remember those moments by as well. The third bottle in the collection is one that is really hard to come by, and that was the Old Rip Vanwinkle. So Dad always had told me that he had tried the Pappy lotteries, and he always tried to get bottles from the Vanwinkle collection. and he never did. And even this one isn't one that he did. This is actually a bottle that my mom and I won for him to have at the house. Our grocery store, Kroger, again, before COVID, on Black Friday, they used to open up for a couple of hours in the evening. And as many Kroger's liquor stores as there are in Kentucky, they were each having their own raffle, and you could enter as many as you could get to in that hour of time while it was open. So my mom and I would get in the car, my sister joined us one year, and we would just try and hit as many as we could, entering. And one year my mom won, and we won this bottle of Old Rip Van Winkle. So we were able to put a bottle of Old Rip Van Winkle in his collection. I do have a picture here. You can see we have this bottle. This was actually just a couple of days ago on Friday. Dad really wanted to make it to this reunion that his Air Force Vietnamese linguists group were having in Louisville. He didn't make that day, but we did kind of do a happy hour toasted Ed where I grabbed some bottles from his collection and opened them and shared them with some of these gentlemen. Now, these are people Dad has a long history with from an age that I was not, even a part or thought of a part of his life back then. But then over time, as they've been able to rekindle their friendships and get the group back together and do more of these reunions, some of them even come to Kentucky and done the Bourbon Trail with him. So it was kind of an important moment and a really cool moment for me to have a part to play with these people who meant so much to him and to a huge part of his life that he spent doing the Air Force, and be able to toast him and share some of his whiskey. You can see the Old Rip Van Winkle there, and a few others as well. Another bottle, the next one as well, that I actually don't have here, but again, you can see it in that picture. And I'll put another picture up. This is actually us at the release event for this product, which is the Four Roses Small Batch Select. So the Four Roses Small Batch Select release event was that an opportunity that came to us through the Mellow Moments Club. It's a free program that you're able to sign up for periodically. I was a member, Dad was a member, and it's that group and the events that they did that made me really appreciate Four Roses as a brand. It's the memory that I had actually being able to go with Dad that made me fall in love with Four Roses. Being able to host an event that had a memory like this, again, where he's alive and healthy, he's able to come out of the house. This was several years ago, and we've not had a lot of times like this over the last couple years. So it's a very fond memory I have them, and it makes me really solidify my love for the Four Roses brand, and just a really special picture and moment that I have with Dad there. And then the last bottle that I'm going to be bringing out is actually, I would probably say, one of the better bottles, if not the best bottle that Dad did have in his collection. And it's the 2005 Old Forester Birthday Bourbon. Now, I did try this with Dad quite some time ago, just chit-chatting down at his bar. He loved to have people come down, try something at his bar, and just kind of show off. He was really proud of the bar area that he had. Even if he didn't have a lot of super fancy bottles, he loved talking about bourbon. He loved sharing about bourbon with people and kind of figuring out what they like. Same kind of things that I do. What do you like? What do you like about it? And I didn't really have a lot of memories specifically attached to this bottle with him. However, on the night that he passed away, this is the bottle that I did go downstairs and have a pour of as a cheers to him, as an ode to his life, to his memory here, and in a spiritual way, a little bit to celebrate his rebirth, and where he's going, if you're a believer in that regards. So there's still a little bit left here, and I very much look forward to continuing to finish this bottle and remember the good memories that I had with him in life and in bourbon, and really sip on that and share and reminisce about the times that I was fortunate enough to have. Again, fortunate enough to have in a life where we didn't really have a lot of things in common. Music, playing guitar, and bourbon were some of those things that we had in common. And while we had our own paths through that, Dad really liked drinking Old Scout. As long as he was able to have it, he would just go and get bottles of Old Scout, as opposed to drinking the other stuff he had on the shelf, and then it transitioned into Old Forester. But these are a few bottles that have special attachment and value to me now. They're more meaningful now than they were before, just sitting on the shelf or sitting on Dad's shelf. They always had those special moments, but they're a little bit more special now. I hope that video was insightful. I hope it was informational. Again, a little bit different than the review videos that I do, but it's something I wanted to get out. It's something that I recorded twice already, actually, and I've lost the video content or audio content. And so I've had to do re-recordings of this video and then sometimes my wife would be in the other room and I'm recording it, and it was just a weird thing to record when she was around. So I've had to find the right time where I could just kind of process aloud. I know you all are seeing this, so it's out there, it's a public thing, but something I've kind of had to air out, on my own. And that's kind of what I've liked about this whole video vlog style of recording that I've been able to do. Usually reviews, yes, but the main purpose, of doing it is for videos like this. So again, I hope it was informational for anyone else who might be in similar stages to this. I empathize with you. I'm there with you. I'd love to hear if there are bottles like this that have special meaning to you all as well. Leave them down in the comments below. Shoot me a line, again, Abandoned Bourbon on Instagram, or shoot me an email. I'd love to hear more about that. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know if you're liking this kind of content or the reviews that I do as well. I'd love to know that I'm continuing to bring content that you're interested in hearing about. Till next time, everybody, we'll see you all later.